Good morning to day 138. A little bit overcast again today, bit of wind, very similar to yesterday, so fingers crossed the weather will hold off. We have an excavator here, so hopefully we're going to get the pipes sorted out today. I did say we should have poured concrete yesterday so that today we could have just backfilled. So we need to dig out some bits and bobs today, that's for sure. But at the same time, we also need to use the excavator to start doing the backfill and the levelling. But we can't do that until we actually get the pipes in and set. So this is where we finished off yesterday, but we're still to the pipes are actually in. But what we need to do is I need to make sure that they're level and there's no bow in the middle. Now that they're concreted though, so hopefully they've done those right. This one very bogged out yesterday, but you can see to a certain extent in the middle there is a slight bow, so it's doing this. So we need to work out what the actual fall needs to be at the very end, and then make sure that with the level all the way through we're getting that right, and then prop up where we need it to be. Then we need to dig out anything that's, as you can see, is complete sludge, which is a hell of a lot, and then we've got to concrete down, which I don't quite understand at the moment with it being the way it is, how we're going to get around doing that. So that's got to be done, and it's got to go off and completely set before we can start backfilling. So I'm not too sure why the excavator's here, because we're still not ready to finish this off. So, but yeah, so the plumber turned up yesterday, had a bit of a meltdown, saw the mud and sludge and said he'll sort that tomorrow, which is pretty much unfortunate what keeps happening with the plumber at the moment. But anyway, so as you can see, we are literally as low as we can go on that pipe, which means that one to a certain extent should be 1 inch to 2 inches lower, which we can't have. So in an ideal world, if that there has got a slight bow in the middle, we could raise that, which means we might be able to raise this end slightly. That's what we should be doing. And then we've also got to pull the pipe from the back manhole, and we've got to dig all the way through here to here again. Straight obviously, which is fine, so hopefully this guy can do a trough straight. We phoned the container company about getting that taken away, which they still haven't. But once that's out of the way, we are literally coming straight through here. We also can do a pipe going over to here to house the electrical side, and we also need to take the water from here over to that side as well. But in order to do that, this has got to be empty, and we've got a marl fill straight away since we've done it. So we've got about another 3 foot to go on here of marl. But at the moment, as you can see, it's operational, so there's no way we can do that at this present time. But moving the container and doing this track along here, that could potentially be done today, if we can try and move the container over, which I don't know if they're going to be able to do. So other than that, what else? Take you over here very quickly. The guys, I did show you last night, the guys did a pretty industrial way of cementing a pipe. I suppose it's better than nothing. So that's all been done. Over there needs to be concreted. Let's see if this is dry enough for me to walk on. Looks like it is, he says. So we still need to concrete this piece here, that piece over in the corner, and this piece here. But once that's done, again, this can be backfilled. This has all been done as well, so that's ready. However, the one thing we do need to do, like I said yesterday, is decide what we're going to do with this wall. We need to build a wall here for the actual stairs, for upstairs anyway. And what was thought we were going to happen is we're going to take this wall over, adjoin this one, and then take this one to the wall. But they obviously made a smaller sort of set of steps there. So I'd rather take this out completely and take this wall over and then build the footing originally for here. I think that would be a better plan, because as you can appreciate, it's a very small space. The benefit of having a small space is we could have something that comes over here to stop the water. When there's heavy rain, we can have something that comes down either a door over, or that stops the water coming down this staircase and potentially over flooding here and coming into the underground space. So that would be the benefit of keeping it like that. But obviously being wider, the plan was to have a door and a full-size window to let the light in, because there's no light in there. So that's my aim. try and get that dealt with today. Still also need to get the grease trap from this side over here. That hasn't been done there either yet, so that's still got to be done. So still some outstanding stuff to be done by the plumber, but the plumbing guys sort of seem to be probably juggling 15 jobs around the island. They turn up for an hour. As soon as it starts getting to that 45-minute stage, you see them panicking and, oh my God, I'm gonna have to be here for too long. And it turns to rat. So we definitely need to get them to commit to being here a bit longer so they can actually finish some of the jobs that actually come on to do. So, but anyway, that's where we are so far. So now to upstairs, let's have a quick look. We've got lots to do today, so we need to sit down and have a plan so we can try and immobilise all the actual guys accordingly. So obviously yesterday we sorted out the step. So I said about yesterday, the actual steps themselves return here, go shoot around and then go straight down the front of the building. So they're now stepped out and the blinding's been done for the side return. The blocks have now been extended out because the previous site manager didn't spec out the size of the steps properly. We'll leave the front bit that he's overdone in anyway, because we can still use that as part of the pathway and the driveway, but again, waste of material. And this needs to be, ideally it needs to be punched down with a block. Ideally put a compactor on it, but in all fairness, it's such a small space and it's such a gradient. We're probably better just getting a couple of labourers blocking that down, hitting the blocks to get that flush. So that needs to be done today. What else? Okay, we need to get this boxed up today. So that needs to be done sooner rather than later. That on the inside can be blocked up today. I say blocked up, sorry. Formwork on the inside. So then the steel benders can do what they've got to do from the outside. In here, we've still got to build the 3-foot wall here. So there's a 3-foot wall that's going to go from here. You can see on the drawings. Where am I? There we go. There to there. 3-foot wall. So if you actually got a 5-foot opening, that's got to be boxed up and poured. We've got to get the labourers in here and get them to sweep out all the way around the outskirt. 1, because it's just never bloody done. But 2, because the block guys need to start doing 4 courses along here. So we need more scaffolding, 2 of those minimum. And we need to just move them along so they can actually go right along to actually do the blocks on the front. That ideally needs to be done sooner rather than later, but before we do that, there's a centre column. Where is the centre of the house? I always forget roughly where the centre of the house is. It is here somewhere. So anyway, we've got a beam slightly off centre, which is about here, going straight this way to connect to that wall. And then slightly on the left-hand side, there's another beam going over to the front column via this support here. So we need to start looking at how we spec those 2 up so that we know before we start blocking that we've actually got the relevant sort of steel work in place. We've now had the detail for along here, so the rebar guys can turn up today and start cracking on with that if they've ordered the steel, that is. We need some wheels on here. As I said before, they hate wheels for some unknown reason. As you can see, it's just on bits of ply at the moment. The electricians, as far as we've finished their work, so now the carpenters can box those and they've got to be poured with concrete. So they've got to be finished off. That's got to be finished off and poured. That's pretty much done over there, so we can actually take the scaffolding, any scaffolding that's there at the moment, potentially can be taken down and taken back over to where it should be. There's a spare one there as well. At the moment, we've got a little bit of a plan. Sorry, we've put a plan together to ensure that everybody works together today. So one of the things I really want to happen is that we need to start getting some housekeeping done. This place is just covered with nails and screws and bits of crap everywhere, so we need to have a bit of a tidy up. And then we've got to build a bit of a strategy on what's happening, who's doing what and in what order, because otherwise before you know it, the day's over. We've achieved a bit, but not all. So that seems to be what happens quite regular. So other than that, that's pretty much where we are so far. Fingers crossed the day won't go too crazy, which I'm sure it will. And fingers crossed we can stay on top of some of the things we have to do. That's the most essential thing for me. So sit down with the guys, build a plan, go and get the drawings printed off so that everyone can see those. Get the rebar guys set out properly today. Get the 2 beams across the middle of the building sorted, get the far beam sorted, get this beam here extended across the whole building, get them to do the starter bars to the garage walls here. Again, one thing that happens here, by the way, is that the masons pour concrete. So if there's a beam to be poured or a column to be poured, the masons do it. So it's just literally the labourers make the concrete, they give it to the masons, and the masons pour it. So I'm like, why don't the masons do blocks, and why don't the labourers just do concrete? I don't understand why it's just literally pouring a bucket. So from my point of view, I've said to them today, I don't care who does it, but surely it's better that the block layers lay blocks and the labourers pour concrete. That's what I would suggest they do. So I need to just talk to them today about whether that's a plan they can do if there's block work to be done, which as far as I'm aware there is. So block work, do blocks, concrete labourers do concrete labour. That's what I would say. But anyway, so the day is young. I don't know where we are. That was the time now. I've got a watch that doesn't want to work. 7 minutes past 8. So let's get a plan and let's grab it for the day. 13:06. 1:06. An excavator that's coming to the land. They're always bullets as well, these bullets. So having an excavator trying to come for a real small space in the side of your house is always a little bit concerning, especially when they do shit like this. But anyway, it's coming in to actually grade the side of the building to ensure that the rain washes away from the house. How he's going to get down the side, I'm not too sure. But he's going to give it a go, so what he should have done was potentially gone the other way around. Just a bit too tight, I think. Or he'll get down there and we'll get back out. One of the two. But anyway, we've got the carpenters here finishing off the actual boxing on the front. The electrician, however, has put the conduit at the top to make it the bottom, so they've got to change that. Still got a board up front. Is that about there, mate? Yeah, I think you would. A bit too tight, like I said. That needs to be obviously boxed up and poured. The boys are around the front at the moment making a start on the top blocks. We were going to go 4 courses high. The courses themselves, we got the beam on the top as well, so we actually only need to go 3 courses. So I'll take you up and show you what's going on there. Go for the boggy water. Stagnant. Apparently the actual the pest treatment they put down on the marl is a good thing. Put a few drops in water, in stagnant water, apparently kills the mozzies. Little mum's tip for you. But anyway, so we're upstairs now. The guys are all on lunch. They started actually doing the courses. So we've got the first 3 courses going on. And now the beam will be the last part, which will tie into the roof. We're going concrete roof now. That said, I mean, we should have a parapet going on the top, so it might have been 2 courses roof and then parapet. We need to have a look at that anyway. The blocks are up in the air, scaffolding's moving along. I swept out in here because everyone else doesn't bother sweeping up anymore. We've got to leave enough sand down just in case they drop mortar. As I said, these boys are actually doing the boxing. Do need to make sure we've got enough smocks in there before they box that up as well. What else? This one's been boxed. This is the conduit coming out for the electric. There's a beam that's going to go across here, which the guys got to be built tomorrow. The issue we have had today is still trying to sort out this bloody waste. So the waste itself down here is going to have to be concreted. So we've managed to chase out a bit of the floor on the well over there, which means that we've just about got the right depth we physically need to get the run. Now what we need to do is spade out all the crap and try and put at least 4 to 5 concrete supports in there to ensure that pipe does not move but it is so touch and go. I personally don't think they should be doing it. They should really be chasing out that base there and going a lot deeper, but because of the base itself, as in the foundation base, they have no choice but to leave it as it is. So fingers crossed we won't have a backup of crap, because the first thing I'm going to be doing is calling them out if they do. We still have to concrete down here, which is one of the things the guys need to do, and the grease trap still needs to be sorted at the back. Again, plumbers are meant to be sorting that. In here, I have been bringing planks in here, not too sure what for, but I think as far as I'm aware, this is ready to pour. So whether the concrete guys will, the masons actually do pouring of concrete as well, like I said this morning. My point of view, really what they should be doing is getting the labourers in to mix out concrete and cracking on with that, whilst the block layers, masons can carry on doing blocks around the house. So tomorrow there's meant to be steel coming. That steel is going to allow the guys on the rebar team to turn up and start doing the actual beams. Running out of time, so the guys really need to start getting their shit in order. So fingers crossed they can do that. We've still got to box up the doorway. The main block wall has been done today, which will be in between the entrance into the house and the electrical cupboard. It's a 5-foot gap, but I still need to box this side up and pull that, which is what they do here. I'll box that up and pull from the top. And this is the wall itself. So that itself will go up to 12 height, and then there'll be a beam that will come from here right over to here. So obviously this needs to be finished first, and then we can remove the boxing on here. The boxing off here, once that's been removed, they can then build the beam around the top on the left hand side and the top side as well. So that is it so far. Still plenty more to be done, obviously, but we're at 1:15, so 4 more hours to go. So another painful afternoon working on this bloody waste pipe. So it's now hopefully where it needs to be. We're just in the midst of concreting the actual supports that we've had to put underneath, but it's very, very sludgy down there. So fingers crossed the concrete will do its job. Probably need a little bit more down here. The guys are actually taking concrete up, so they're pouring the columns above. Anyway, so we've got a bit of pipe that's not been extended in one of the voids, which has to be extended, otherwise they're going to pour concrete and that's it, it's done. So I'll go and grab that for him in a minute. I'm pretty sure we've got some of that in the container. Shit everywhere, as always. We've actually dug out down here for the front waste. So we actually have waste that's got to come down this way, and we've got gutters that have got to go down that way. So this is what they've done so far. I'm not too sure if that's the finished product, but it saves digging out, that's for sure. Let's get upstairs, have a quick look what's going on up here. So we have carpenters up here finishing off the beams, and we have a few masons up here as well. Hey, how are you? Good. So the main entrance wall now is at height. So this is the main 5-foot entrance into the house, and this is the electrical cupboard. So the main entrance in now is pretty much central to the 2 openings we have. One which is in the middle of the supporting area, and the other one obviously is the back beam. So start off with the masons. The masons of today have been taking the blocks up to height. So they're just over halfway through the house now on the front, which is great news. And at the back of the house we've had other masons now pouring all the beams. So all the beams around here are being poured as we speak. So that will hopefully be done by tomorrow. I'm sure they'll get halfway through it today and then finish the rest off. So they actually manually carry up buckets of cement like this and then manually get out there and pour it, which is painful. Then we've got the excavator out there causing some aggro. So the owner of the construction company is having a play with an excavator basically. But he has been down here levelling this off, which is good. So that's actually a nice looking side now, whereas before it was an absolute mess. Looking a lot better. And I think he's been doing similar sort of stuff around here as well. So trying to level things off a little bit. Still needs a lot more work around here, but these blocks, we need to move those as well at some stage. Shouldn't really take that up against the wall yet before we paint. But again, levelling off is better than not levelling off, that's for sure. So that's this side. Again, up here, they're all pouring concrete. Carpenters, as I said, around here boxing up the fronts, but they've had to take off the rears because the electricians obviously put the conduit at the wrong height, so they've taken the rear off, as far as I'm aware. So we can get in there and actually do the smocks in there as well. These all need to be 3-inch smocks in here. And they've done that on every single one of the beams. They can also adjust the conduit that's in there as well. They've got one there which is too high. That can be taken down to floor level. And same on that beam as well. And then obviously they're coming through here. Not too sure why they would actually put 3 blocks there, but they're coming along. This beam has been taken off, but for some reason it didn't pour very well. Bit of a strange one. Need to get that one poured properly again. So anyway, that's where we are so far. Still an hour to go. A little bit of sweeping out I did today, just to try and make it a little bit more pleasant. So still got conduits in there that can be boxed up and extended. I need to go and try and find a bit of conduit for Anthony, because at the moment he's just seen a bit of pipe in the wall that's not been extended high enough, so we need to go and get that and extend before he pours. Otherwise we'll be pouring, it won't be long enough, and there'll be an issue. So let's go and grab that conduit for him now and I'll come back to you in a second. A little bit of grading going on and a few rocks to be moved. Excavator man needs to watch a tree. What we're doing here is we've graded all around here to get a more level surface. And a lot of the big rocks we're going to move over into the corner. The smaller rocks we're going to put over here to make more of a rockery across here to try and stop the water coming through this way. So when we have the floods October, November, the water tries to come through, so these rocks here all right across will try and stop some of the water coming this way. I mean, until we concrete the back of them, it won't stop the water completely, but better to have them there than nothing at all, that's for sure. And also it's been graded a little bit more along here as well. Going the other way. Some massive one there. Wait till he sees that one. That one is huge. That's the biggest tabletop I brought out of the land itself, so he's got no chance of lifting it with that. You get that little one. But that one there is massive. So anyway, a little bit of grading going on here. Bricklayers trying to finish off the front of the building. It'd be bloody good if they did today. I mean, it's 4:05 now, so they are so close to finishing that off. That'd have been pretty amazing if they did. Quick look where they got so far. I think they got about 10 foot. They're bloody close. Bloody close. I'm still not too sure why they put those 3 blocks there. It's a polished floor down here. It's a polished floor down here. Okay. I'm not sure polished floor means anything to anybody in here. Got 2 labourers standing around here. And these boys. So I'm not too sure why they put those 3 where he is. Might have to take it out. But anyway, got the whole wall nearly done. Which is plenty good. So I might get it finished, you never know. Let's see. With regards to the rest, one thing's looking for a bit of timber. Screwed together. That's going to take some big pressured concrete in there, that's for sure. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of pressure. So yeah, I wouldn't have thought we're going to get a great deal done compared to what we're doing now. We've been finishing off the gutter down here, obviously. That's still got a set. We're still lifting concrete up to pour the actual columns. The orange line over here has been dug out for the actual the septic pipes. That's going to come through here. We'll get it done as soon as it's ready playing around over the excavator over there. Other than that, rebar guys tomorrow, they need to set up and make sure that they actually get all the beams done. So they're going to take a beam from over here, on the camera can't see it, from here all the way across to over this side. And they're going to take the beam over there on the toilet, across here. Then they've also got to do all the beams throughout the whole house as well. So there's a beam that's going to go from the column to over here, and then from here over to here. We're going to do that tomorrow. I don't know how far we've got on pouring over the road at the moment, but there's quite a bit of pouring that's been taking place, so fingers crossed they'll be quite far around there by the time we actually finish tonight, and then they can do the rest tomorrow. But anyway, still quite a bit to do. Half hour-ish left. So I think you're fine. I'll call it a day for now because I can't see a great deal changing compared to what's actually happening now. Let's see how we got on with moving those rocks. We need some of them. Yeah, he's got quite a few moved. But he's going to need a bigger excavator if he wants to do that one, that's for sure. But even though it's still not finished here, it does look 10 times better than it did, that's for sure. So hopefully we can try and get some of this finished off in the next few days as well. Not a priority at the moment though. The main thing is getting the actual house with a roof on, that's for sure.